Hi, welcome to this edition of TMC Newsroom on the Road. We're here in Dallas, Texas, and I'm talking with Raymond Kim from ZTE. Raymond, thank you.
Welcome, and I appreciate the opportunity.
So, maybe start off, let's talk a little bit about how sort of the last year's been for ZTE and some of the things that you've accomplished.
Yeah, it's been quite some time since I've talked to TMC Net, and to give you an update, and also we missed the opportunity to speak at CTIA. So what I wish to do is talk about 2009 result for ZTE as a whole, as also a number of announcements we have made at CTIA, as well as what ZTE USA is focusing on. So for 2009, ZTE Corporation as a whole, we don't have the full year result as of now. But looking at first 3-quarter results, we did over $6.2 billion in sales, and that represents a 40% year-over-year increase. So in terms of the growth, it's impressive considering the worldwide economic situation. At the same time, compared to our peers, our business is still growing very, very fast. In the past few years, the compound annual growth has been better than 25% or more. So looking at the full year projections in terms of handset sales, we're going to hit 60 million units. That puts us well solidly into probably the number 5 spot worldwide, especially considering the results in the fourth quarter of 2009. I have analysts telling me that ZTE has already got into the top 5 spot just in terms of volume. So in terms of wireless infrastructure, because of China's 3G deployment, ZTE has significant market share domestically, averaging about 30% across all the technology formats. And globally, we're making tremendous progress in advanced markets such as Europe and North America. In terms of ZTE USA, we have launched a number of handset products, obviously, and we have launched data devices with Sprint and Verizon. And looking forward to 2010, we're probably going to see more partnership announcements as well as more product announcements. So while at CTIA, ZTE did announce 3 particular pieces of news. One is a partnership with Sprint to provide M2M modules to Sprint. These modules are going to enable devices such as the Kindle and netbooks to get high-speed broadband access on the go on Sprint's network. And also we announced the partnership with Qualcomm for Femtocells development. We believe with the explosion of mobile broadband and also coming of LTE, a very hotspot or small coverage area solution is going to be critical to carrier success. So that's one direction that we're going with supplementing the macro network. And the third part is a CDMA to LTE evolution path that's supported by a hardware platform, ZTE's own software-defined radio technology that provides a seamless integration of CDMA technology and LTE in the same chassis that will enable carriers to deploy both technologies in a very economical way. So basically, these are the news that we have announced at CTIA, and the ZTE's progress in the U.S. has been steady, and we can look forward to more and more news coming out later this year.
You know, when you talk about your growth, year-over-year growth in particular, what's driving that success for ZTE? You yourself mentioned a down economy over the last year or two.
A large part, obviously, is coming from China's 3G deployment. The wireless license has been released, and ZTE has a 40% market share in the CDMA technology with China Telecom, and 30 plus % market share in TDS CDMA. and also a significant 20+% market share in WCDMA with China Unicom as well. So that's one big revenue contributor. However, domestically versus international, ZTE's revenue split is still at 40-60%. So we are still making tremendous amount of progress in other global markets, especially in Europe and North America.
Now you mentioned the other announcement regarding Femtocells.
Mm-hmm.
That's been an interesting space to follow with proponents and adversaries of femtocell technology. But now you guys made that announcement at CTIA, and there was an awful lot of focus around femtocells at CTIA, and it looks like the market generally has come around to accepting femtocells as a legitimate product line.
Well, the need for that solution definitely exists. We understand with the explosion of smart devices such as iPhones, Android phones, and consumers' demand for more and more data, higher speed data is there. And how does a network handle that? It definitely requires some tiering of the network, if you will. However, the business model still needs to be fine-tuned. Do consumers willing to pay extra to have their own base station at home? And what incentive is there for them to spend the extra money to gain the coverage and access that they need? So that business model is kind of lagging the technology requirement, if you will. But definitely we see there is a tremendous amount of demand in terms of technical solutions for femtocell or femtocell type of applications.
And I believe the third announcement you referenced was the M2M contract.
Yeah.
So is M2M really going to be a viable opportunity first in the consumer segment, or is it really going to be something that the business market is going to be focused on? And really, I guess the question stems from, are consumers really going to be willing to pay to connect their Kindles or their Sony e-readers or other similar devices to wireless networks?
I think both consumer and enterprise space, there are a tremendous amount of growth opportunities. For a consumer, obviously, what carrier needs to do is create a number of things. One is ease of opening the account.
Mm-hmm.
Second is flexible billing plans.
Mm-hmm.
I might have a device that I rarely uses, and I don't want to pay a fixed monthly fee for that. So carriers obviously need to take that into consideration. And I think that's already happening with a number of carriers looking into that space. And third is obviously you need to have a device that's going to provide enhancement to the consumer's life.
Mm-hmm.
But one last thing obviously is how does all the parties benefit from this M2M explosion? You have carriers, you have electronics manufacturers, you have companies such as ZTE as technology enablers,
mm-hmm.
then you have the consumers, then you have people who are doing the back end, providing the infrastructure for the services. So if you look at it, there are many, many different pieces in the M2M space. How does everybody benefit, and how does the business model work? That's something that probably needs to solidify before you see a further explosion. And for the enterprise space, obviously, there's a lot of talk about smart meters, and we already see a lot of tracking solutions by various companies. That seems to be a vertical that's fairly well developed. And there's a lot of focus on electronic meters and mobile health. And how does that develop? It's really to be seen. And there needs to be, again, a business model where all these various pieces, they can all benefit from.
Sure. And certainly I agree that the healthcare industry is one that can benefit significantly from M2M communications. What can we look forward to for the remainder of 2010 from ZTE?
Well, we are obviously focusing a lot of energy towards expanding our market position in the U.S. with regards to handsets. So you can look forward to more product announcements, more new partnership announcements. And also for the infrastructure, we are focusing a lot of energy on the underserved segments of the market. And we hope to have some news for you before the end of the year.
Fantastic. I certainly look forward to hearing about that. Thanks for joining us for this segment of TMC Newsroom on the road. Raymond, thank you.
Thank you.